Hey, 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 welcome to How to Supersize Your Business Without Working Yourself to Death. Want to make a quick warning? I am actually making an ethical bribe to encourage you to stay to the end and to listen to this incredible web class. Free Supersize Your Business surprise. I'm not going to tell you what the surprise is because then you might not stay to the end. You probably will because I'm going to unveil the process that guarantees you can supersize your business. Whatever it is that you want to do with your business, this is the process to make it happen. So I know you're going to want to stay to the end, but I'm also going to bribe you with something that I guarantee to take your business to the next level. I want to make a quick earnings disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV. And I can for sure guarantee that you're not going to 10x your business overnight. When I got started supersizing my business, I just wanted to stop working over 70 hours a week. I wanted to get some sleep. I hadn't had a good night's sleep for years. I longed to actually experience the freedom that I had dreamt about when I took the entrepreneurial leap of faith from corporate America in the first place. I wasn't ready to give up on my dream of not being able to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want. Turns out I didn't have to, and neither do you. But it's not just me. James from Minneapolis had this to say. He said, our real estate office was getting pounded by the competition in our area. We couldn't seem to get listings to save our souls. A mutual friend told me about Sharon. I figured we had to do something or we were going to be in big trouble. After working with Sharon for just one session, I was able to begin turning things around. After a couple of months, we had 23 new listings in our 3-person office. It's over $6 million of real estate listings. So the things I'm going to show you on this webinar today are very, very powerful. And I feel the conscious urge to please ask you to not use the things that I teach you for evil. Use them definitely to supersize your own business, but don't use them to harm anybody else's business. So who is this for? You might be wondering. Well, if you've got an existing business, this is for you. No matter how long you've been in business, if you've taken that leap of faith, then this can help you supersize your business. This will help you supersize your business. I'd also like to warn people, if you have not taken that leap of faith, if you haven't started your business yet, this is probably not the right web class for you. And so you might want to just pop off now and save yourself an hour or so of time that you could spend encouraging yourself and talking yourself into actually taking that leap of faith. But here's just a quick list of some of the type companies that we have helped to supersize before. If you're not on this list, don't panic. Go ahead and put in the comments the name and the type, or not the name, but the type of business that you're in, and we will match you up with the information of a company just like yours or a business very, very similar to yours that we have supersized. So my goal for this web class, I want to help people who want to make the world a better place by creating supersized businesses without working themselves to death. I want to help you to do that. No wasting time, money, energy on shit that doesn't work or get results. I'm going to show you on this web class today that the only way for you to make your world a better place is by supersizing your business. And the only way for you to do that is through Supersize Business Secrets. So who the heck am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. I go by the pajama grandma these days, and that's because I now get to work where I want, when I want, with whomever I want, in whatever I want, and that tends to be a disproportionate amount of time in my pajamas or bathrobe. I spent 25 years, a quarter century in corporate America as a corporate executive in primarily the quality function. I've actually got an engineering, marketing, and management degree, which means I like nerdy stuff. And the reason I got all those degrees is I knew that I would always have my own manufacturing company someday. I've spent it's actually more like 45 years as a business owner. My first business was when I was 13, and it was selling ice. I manufactured and sold ice. I personally was responsible for making $797,491 in one day. And why I put that here and why I'm proud of that is because that was created solely by my personal efforts. Not a team, not a group, not anybody else, but through what I personally was able to do. I've started, failed, and succeeded at many businesses. I've saved hundreds of millions of dollars for businesses, including my own, and I've made hundreds of millions of dollars for myself and for others. These are just some pictures of me and my family and my lifestyle now. There I'm in my bathrobe at a convention, some of the speaking gigs I've had. My family, 5 generations, my son, my granddaughter, my mom, my grandmother, also my daughter. Not many people get 5-generation pictures, so I'm pretty proud of that. and just some of the people I love and care about. And they're my reason why I do what I do. They're how I make the world a better place. So if you don't mind, I'd love to tell you a little story about where I've been and why this is so important to me, why I help businesses to supersize. Well, as many of you, or maybe not many of you, but I've experienced more than once. I went to work one day, it was a Friday, and about lunchtime, my boss called me into his office and proceeded to very uncomfortably tell me that I was no longer working there. Now, I knew that our business, our company was being purchased by another big conglomerate. We'd made a lot of money and the owners were ready to cash out, and I didn't blame them. They were getting toward retirement age, and they found a bigger company that wanted to acquire them for a tidy sum of money that was never disclosed. But it meant that my job was redundant with the corporation that was buying them. Quality is often a function that gets downsized. So I took it really, really well in my boss's office. I packed up the car, hugged everybody goodbye, packed up all my stuff. And it wasn't until I hit University Avenue that all of a sudden I burst into tears. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not a crier. Why am I crying? Why am I so upset? Why am I bursting into tears? I don't take this personally. And, I've been fired in the past and I did take it personally. But this time I was just laid off. And so it didn't really hurt my feelings that I wasn't working there anymore, except that my husband had recently lost his job and we had just built a brand new home. And I'm sitting in that home right now. It's not a small home. Our garage is actually bigger than our previous home was. So it's a pretty nice house, which meant it had a pretty nice house payment. And with me being the only person working at the time, I started to freak out and panic. I guess I was probably having a mini panic attack. I don't think I've ever had a panic attack before, but if I was, that would have been one. And I'm beside myself. I don't know what to do. I'm driving. I know I'm going to be home in about an hour and a half in traffic. So I have to calm down because I don't want my kids to see me all upset and a wreck. I didn't really want the husband to see me all upset and a wreck. So I started to kind of get a grip on my emotions and take a couple of deep breaths. And then I reminded myself, okay, I know how to deal with this. I know how to deal with stressful situations. So I just started thinking about and focusing on what I want. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I want? I started asking myself that question over and over again. And I thought, okay, well, I want money because I want to be able to make the house payment. I want to be able to make the car payments. I want to be able to feed the kids. My kids like to eat. I like to eat. The husband likes to eat. And I wanted to back off on how much I was working. I was working for this company, at least 70 hours a week. I was busting my butt, covering 3 shifts, running 2 executive level departments because I had inherited one 3 months after I got the job. And I absolutely adored that job, loved that job, but I was working a lot, and a lot more than most people work in their corporate America jobs. I think we're all internally motivated, and I think some of us don't know how to back off on the amount of effort we put forth in certain things, and I was certainly an example of that. But I knew I needed money. I knew I wanted to hang out with my kids and actually see my kids and not miss out on the events of their life like I had been during my corporate career. So as I'm continuing to calm down and not be freaking out and wiping the tears, I still had my helmet and my hairnet and my uniform on, for goodness sake. I'm sure I looked like, mascara running down my face, dripping off my chin. I'm sure the car's next to me because it's always rush hour traffic. By the time I got out of there, it was rush hour. And I remembered something that I teach everybody that comes in contact with me, my kids, my kids' friends, everybody who works for me, my coworkers. Over the decades, I had taught everybody this little trick, and I actually renamed it my favorite PSDM system, because when you're dealing with professionals, if I didn't call it something fancy, I think they might have been offended. And some of them laughed when I taught them, but it's just a little strategy for making decisions. PSDM stands for problem-solving decision-making, but it's a trick that allows you, especially when you're in a highly charged or highly emotional situation, to make a decision. And really all you do is you take a piece of paper, you fold it down the middle, you put a plus sign on one side, a minus on the other, and you literally write down all the reasons to do something or all the reasons not to do it. Now, I actually use this to decide if I should marry my husband or not. And I don't know why it didn't get thrown away, but somehow it didn't. And he found it and was quite offended by that I had actually written down reasons to marry him and reasons not to marry him. I'm sure he figured there were no reasons not to marry him, but I beg to differ. And since we're divorced now, I think I was right. But I'm like, well, I did marry us, so what's the big deal? But not everybody accepts the things that we write down with respect to making decisions as well as others. But my dad taught my sisters and I this when we were really little girls from a family of 5 women and my dad. And I think he did it for self-preservation, but it is an incredibly powerful tool. Don't let the simplicity of it fool you. So as I'm driving in the car, finally getting control of my sobbing, and I start thinking about this. Of course, I'm in my car, so I'm not going to write it down, but I started thinking about, okay, well, what are all the reasons for and against job hunting? And then the other thing I compared it to was my sister and I had started a business about 20 years earlier making handmade Italian specialty foods. And it was set up, I'd always been in corporate America, so when we did it, she stayed with the business and ran the day-to-day business, and it supported her family, but we never built it very much, or we never changed it very much. I let her do most of the decision-making for the business, and it wasn't enough to support both of our families. So I had stayed in corporate America, but at this point, as I'm driving home, my brain is saying, hey, maybe it's time that you get involved in the Italian food business and you make that your career versus building businesses for other people. Maybe it's time you build one for yourself. Well, I'd gotten a 2-week severance package from my company, which I was super grateful for, but it didn't take long for us to go with just me working and now not working from just over broke to just under broke. We were sinking pretty fast. And I remember one night, the husband and I talking about after the kids had gone to bed, you know, what the heck are we going to do? We're in trouble here. You know, the fact is neither one of us were able to get a job in 2 weeks because that's when my severance ran out. And we joked about robbing a bank, you know, and then we're laughing because neither one of us were qualified to rob a bank, but we knew we had to do something. So that something involved me having to do one of the hardest things of my life. And that was asking my parents if we could borrow the money to tide us over until we got on our feet so that we could make our house payment and make our truck payment and feed the kids. And I was so lucky that my parents were in a position that they could help us. But I got to tell ya, every day that I owed my parents money broke my heart and it kind of ate away at my soul because I had always taken care of myself. I was over 40 when this happened. And I had always supported my family and been really independent and taken care of myself and worked my way through college and things. And I only had one small student loan from college. And my ego was dying by having to ask my parents for money. I just always believed that I could do everything myself and that I didn't need anybody's help. And here I was in a situation where I had to ask for help. And I still have a really hard time asking for help. And I don't know if it's because this contributed to making that even more challenging for me, or that somehow along the way I got the belief that I should be able to figure things out and just do them myself. But borrowed the money from my parents and got to work. I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to find a way to grow this business and supersize this business so that it could support both of our families and much, much more, because I needed it to totally support my family since my husband wasn't having much good fortune in the way of job hunting. So my secret plan was to find any way possible to grow and supersize this business. Some of the things I tried worked really, really well. Most of them were a total waste of time and money and energy. And I felt a lot of the times like I was just spinning my wheels. And I also soon discovered that not everybody wanted me to succeed. Not everybody wanted me to supersize my business. My competitors certainly didn't want me to. Unfortunately, my partner didn't want me to. And I discovered some of my own beliefs were getting in the way of me supersizing my business. That was probably the hardest thing for me to accept and understand. And the hardest thing for me to overcome was that I would be sabotaging my growth in ways that I didn't even know why I was doing it. So through all this, I discovered the hard way, trying to figure everything out myself, not knowing who to trust. I was burned by consultants and experts. I spent $6,000 on a website back in the day. This was back in 2004 when the web was just getting going, and we were still having debates in corporate America as to whether the internet would be a viable solution for business and income in the future, which I laugh at now that we even had those debates. But I also remember Y2K and what a big threat that was. So, but relying on bankers and vendors and the government and people that I thought were supposed to help me grow my business and have my best interests at heart, I realized pretty quickly that nobody had my best interests at heart. Nobody really cared about my business succeeding and growing except me. And I was going to have to be the driving force behind that. I didn't know what to do. I was stabbing in the dark and guessing things. And I found myself working in my business way more work than working on my business. And that was probably one of my biggest barriers to growth. But what's possible now? I said about my $797,000 day. Here's just some pictures of my life now, some speaking things that I've done. My kids are amazing. I've raised two incredible human beings despite my working all the time, according to them. It's my house right there. You can't see the garage because it's covered up, but it's as big as the house is to the left there that you can see. And some of my guilty pleasures now are I'd love to get my fingernails done and my hair done and hang out with amazing people like my almost 99-year-old grandma and my 81-year-old mom. But the best part of supersizing my business is that I was able to be the primary caregiver for my beautiful granddaughter the first year of her life while running my Italian food business. You can see there she is with some of the gang on at the production line. So I learned the hard way, and the hard way is expensive with respect to time and money, and more importantly, the toll that it took on me and my health, which I'll talk about a little bit later. It took me 25 years, thousands of hours of trial and error, plus experimentation to figure out how to do this for my business. I did it first on my Italian food business, and then, as you'll see, I helped many, many other companies to do the same for their business. But I spent six figures on education, coaches, coaching in different areas and different areas of expertise to figure out how to do this for my business. I've attended, I lost count after like 39 seminars and trainings. I've read thousands of books, and I filled tubs. I'm moving right now out of my house since I'm divorced. I filled tubs, big plastic tubs full of notebooks of information and things that I've learned that have helped me to supersize my business. If you're struggling to grow your business and supersize your business, this is probably why. You might be feeling like I was, overwhelmed, frustrated, stressed, under-resourced, overworked, undercompensated, not knowing what to do, never feeling like you have enough time and that you're rushing and running through your life, not knowing who to trust or who to ask for advice, wondering how to create the business that you imagined when you took the leap of faith and started your business in the first place, and much, much more. If you're struggling, it's not your fault. If you failed at supersizing your business in the past, of course it's not your fault. It's a process and a learning curve that we all need to go through if we want to grow our business. And if you suspect that certain entities that you think would want to help and see you succeed, like even your bankers and investors, you think they'd want to help and see you succeed, consultants and gurus especially, right? You pay them to help you succeed, but they don't necessarily want you to. They want you to think that you're dependent on them and that you have to have them or you're going to fail. And that's absolutely false. So I'm here to show you right here, right now, the way to supersize your business. I'm going to show you the easy way in a few minutes. I'm going to share a personalized supersize strategic map with one business owner in about 10 minutes. You submitted your business, right? Well, if you didn't, some people did. Kelly was running a retail business. She was making improvements and steadily getting increased profits. She was she was for sure a single-digit improvement year over year, under 5%. But she was getting older and she wanted to retire. And she had talked to two consulting firms that help you sell your business and decided to work with us. And we were able to help her sell her business for 5 times what both of those consultants had told her her business would sell for. And here's what she had to say. She said, the changes I made in the business were minor and actually made it possible for me to work half the hours I was before. The end result, life-changing. So there's this I like to call them a new breed of business owner called supersizers. And I call them supersizers because they're people that are supersizing their business, and because they're growing their business and creating the business that they want, they are positively changing their world and in turn changing the world as a whole and making the world a better place. I've actually started a Facebook page and a Facebook group for these people where we get together and talk about and share ideas on how we're building our businesses and supersizing them and making the world a better place. I've got an Instagram TV channel. I've got the Facebook group and a podcast where I interview these new age business supersizers so that they can inspire you. And I also interview experts that can help you to supersize your business in all different areas that you need to grow your business. So here's what we're going to cover today. Secret number 1, how to ethically steal the secrets to living the 4-hour work week, and it's not with an online business. Secret number 2, how to supersize your business without working yourself to death. And secret number 3, how to make competition irrelevant, even in the most competitive industries and businesses. So let's hop right in. Who wants to know how to ethically steal the secrets to living the 4-hour work week, and it's not with an online business? Well, some people think, I don't even know what supersizing your business means. How am I going to do it if I don't know what it means and what it is? And a lot of people I talk to think the same thing I did when I started supersizing my business. Won't supersizing mean I have to work even more than I am now? Let me explain a bit and tell you a quick story. That is a supersized ravioli. Tim Ferriss wrote the 4-Hour Work Week 10 years ago now. And what was really interesting to me and why I loved and enjoyed reading his book is I had actually been doing something similar with the Italian food business while I was trying to supersize and grow that because I didn't want to work so much. I wanted to get my life back. And the first year of having the Italian food business, I actually worked about 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, because pretty early on, we ended up having to let go a lady that did store demos for us. And in the food industry, one of the things that grocery stores were a big piece of our business. We are a B2B business, but in the food industry, you often find that you have to sell to your customers as well. And so I got myself roped into doing store demos. And as a quality executive, I was really curious about the customers and what they liked and didn't like. So I loved doing them, but I hated doing them because they meant I worked almost every weekend for a year. And at the same time, I was reading after that, Tim Ferriss came out with his book and I was reading it. And I think it's a perfect example here because Tim was teaching us how to work a 4-hour work week, leave our corporate jobs, and create income on our own or take side gigs that would allow us to live the life that we wanted to, whatever that looked like and means to you. And so I love Tim's book and quotes and that the message of what he says. His quotes to me are really hard to understand. But basically he says, listen, most people will never go big because they're afraid to. They don't believe that it's possible for them, but they'll settle for mediocrity, and in the mediocre normal range, that's where all the competition is. And I've seen this in my own experience as I've gone from the offline brick and mortar world to the online world in the last year and a half. There is tons of competition for people that will teach you how to make 6 figures in your business. There's a little less competition, but there's still a lot for people and experts that will teach you to make from 6 to 7 figures in your business. But as you go above that 7-figure mark, there's only a few and much less competition for teaching you how to 10x that and make $10 or more million in your business. And there's even less people that will teach you how to create $1 billion business. So the competition for going big is way less than the competition for staying mediocre. And that plays out in every field. Ask yourself, is that true in your industry? Is everybody kind of playing the same game and going after the same thing and expecting different results? Yeah, definition of insanity, right? Well, what the heck is supersize your business? What does it even mean? One of the best things about owning your own business and being a business owner is you get to set up the rules and the definitions of the game for yourself. You get to set them up in your favor. So you get to decide what supersizing your business means to you. Maybe it is making 6 figures. Maybe it's making 7 figures. Maybe it's making 8 figures or beyond. You get to decide and define what supersizing your business means to you. So this is sort of what I looked like as I started growing my business. And another thing Tim Ferriss talked about that I could really relate to, but again, it was after the fact, so it just reinforced what I had learned, was the quote that says, don't follow a model that doesn't work. If the recipe sucks, it doesn't matter how good a cook you are. And when we started the Italian food business, we had a make a little, sell a little philosophy. And that served my partner and her family very well because it made a little and sold a little enough to support her family. But that philosophy wasn't going to hold true. And, you know, lucky for us, we had a strategy. Most businesses don't even have a strategy for how they operate, much less how they'll grow. But make a little, sell a little, unless you're selling Ferraris or Porsches or some big ticket item, it's not a great philosophy. It's definitely not a great philosophy for modeling a food business after. Even a business like ours that was unique and special. We made handmade Italian specialty foods that have no preservatives. So people love them, but they don't love them enough to sell a lot of them with a make a little, sell a little philosophy. And that's part of why my partner and I had a falling out. We needed to change that. And I knew we needed to change that strategy if we were going to grow and supersize the business. So one of my favorite people in the whole wide world and a business advisor I could always trust was my father. The picture on the right is my dad. He passed away about 3.5 years ago now of brain cancer. But before then, he was my greatest advisor and my financier, thankfully. He helped me to buy out my partner and to supersize my business. So about once or twice a week, I would stop by and visit him at his business. He had, after he retired, started a used restaurant equipment business that he ran. About 85% of their volume ran through eBay. So here he was in his late 70s starting a business, an online business that was predominantly eBay and then brick and mortar based. And so I would go out and I would chat with him about what was going on and what I was trying and what was working and what wasn't working. And I might have been whining to him one day a little bit because, you know, I'm human. I'm subject to whine every once in a while. And he reminded me, like he had my entire life, hey, there's no such thing as can't. You will figure this out. There's always a way if you're committed. You know what you want to do, so just keep plugging away at it. And then he also asked me, he's like, you know, Sharon, what do I do? I thought about it for a minute and I looked around and, you know, I thought about, okay, well, he's got a business that seems pretty cool and busy, but he doesn't really do that much anymore. He pretty much is here at his desk, answering the phone and helping out where people ask questions. I said, well, you know, I don't know. What do you do? He's like, well, how many people work for me now? And I think at the time he had about 50 people that worked for him in various capacities in this business, both online and off. And they would go to auctions and buy used restaurant equipment, you know, clean it up, rehab it, fix it, and then resell it. And they would do a lot of that online, and they would do a lot of it just in phone sales and things. And they shipped things all over the world. So he had a whole lot of people that it took to actually pull this off. Then he pulled his financial statements out of the drawer and started showing them to me. And I knew he was doing well, but I had no idea how he had gone from nothing to this multi-million-dollar business. And I was impressed. I asked him, of course, if he would trade me businesses. And he said, no, you have to build it on your own. But that was really, really helpful for me. And it reminded me of one of my other favorite mentors, Tony Robbins. And Tony always said, you know, if you want to achieve success, all you have to do is find a way to model somebody who's already succeeded. So that's what I started doing. I got busy working smarter, not harder. I studied, I researched, I opened my mind and I asked myself, what else is possible? I began modeling and creating different things, testing and tweaking my own system for supersizing this business. I'm sure I drove my employees crazy at many points because they told me I did often, but we finally started to make some progress and figure it out. And I stumbled upon the 4 steps of supersizing your business. Step number 1, I call supersize. And being an engineer and a nerd, I love mathematical formulas. So I created the supersize formula. Superpower, what you're good at, plus super desire, what you want. What does supersize look like to you? And then super why. Why do you want that? What's the end game that you want and the reason why you want it? When you add those things together, it creates synergy, just like teamwork. 1 + 1 people working together gives you way more than the 2 people working individually. That's kind of a quick and dirty definition of synergy. But you got to know where you want to go. You can't hop in the car and think you're going to get to, I don't know, Texas from Minneapolis if you don't know where you're going and you don't point your car at least in the right direction. And then listen to the signs. You got to have a map of what you want to do and where do you want to go. But you have to know your destination, right? So that's step one. Step number two, you have to figure out what is it that you offer to people, because business is all about an exchange of value. You have to have something that people want. And by the way, like your ideal customer, because you might believe that your product's for everybody. I'll admit, I believed that my product was for everybody until I started doing those store demos at the height of the low carb, no carb diets and the beginning of gluten-free. And boy, I was in for a rude awakening, because everybody that walks by your booth at a grocery store isn't necessarily very kind about how they don't want to try your free sample. But I learned that my product definitely isn't for everybody. And I stopped trying to have it be for everybody and began focusing on who was most likely to love and adore my product. And once I did that, everything changed. I figured out what to offer them. I figured out my unique selling proposition, what I could do better than any other Italian food manufacturer on the planet. And that's what I did. So super service. Step three, super SWOT. And this is right up a quality executive's level or alley, because it's all about analyzing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your business or the company you happen to work for, and then that of your competitors. And I'm one of those people that when you're supposed to do, most people would be do 2 or 3 competitors. I'll usually do like 20 or whoever I can think of, because I want to get the best competitive advantage I possibly can for me and my business. And step 4, supersize strategies. How do you determine what the best strategy is for you? And then once you determine that, how do you put that to work in your business so that you can supersize your business? And I'm actually going to go through these steps in detail for one company, because that's the easy way in secret number 2. Here you can see my beautiful granddaughter with her hairnet on, because she used to like to come to the shop with me. So you might be thinking, well, I don't understand how supersizing my business is going to do any of these things. How is it going to get me what I want, and how is it going to do these things? So I want to walk through some of the details that we got and the results we got when I supersized the Italian food business. First off, we increased our profits. That allowed me to buy my partner out in 14 months. We increased our sales. We tripled our sales the first year. It let me go from working 12 hours to 14-hour days, 7 days a week, to 1 hour a day, 4 days a week. Now, that took me about 3 years to get to the 1 hour a day, 4 hours a week, but I did it. And this isn't a brick and mortar traditional business, as traditional as it gets. It wasn't an online business. I increased I didn't do it myself. We increased our productivity. We went from 12 FTEs or full-time equivalent employees, and that's just a measure of, I guess, productivity for your organization, down to 4. Now, we designed and engineered a couple of pieces of equipment that made it possible for us to do this in a high-end made business. And then we increased our efficiency, but we didn't measure that. So I don't have an exact number of the difference between when we started and when we finished, because we never measured it in efficiency for that business. It was we made handmade products, and we did different things every day for our customers. And so production was never the same from day to day. So it was really hard to get one efficiency number that made sense to look at. We reduced our costs. We cut our overhead by 1/3 the first year and continued to cut it and make improvements in our costs over the next, continuing. We reduced waste, and this is something I'm really proud of. We got our waste down to what I considered zero waste, less than a pound a day in a food-related business. Unheard of. I've never heard of another food industry or a food manufacturer or food business, for that matter, restaurants and bars, that have less than a pound of food waste a day. We saved time and money. We've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in the business and continued to save year over year. Now, that's just my one business, the first business I ever did this to. That's the kind of incredible results we got. What do you think would happen if you were able to get results like that in just one area of your business? Pretty amazing, huh? So let me share a couple of other businesses that we've worked with and the results that they were able to achieve. Does anybody here have a manufacturing business? If you do, go ahead and put me in the comments. One manufacturer was able to automate their customer acquisition. They got a steady stream of new customers coming to them versus having to have their salespeople cold call and go out to generate new leads and new sales. They doubled their sales in 4 months, and they did that with just one new customer. That's the power of these strategies. Depending on what type of business you have, it doesn't have to be a ton of things that you do, and you can get results really, really fast. A beauty salon owner optimized, automated, and outsourced her entire business in less than 127 days. And now she's thinking about franchising her process or opening new locations. A retail business, a pet food store, increased sales 43% in 4 weeks and reduced absenteeism 50% too. Her biggest complaint was that she couldn't get people to show up. She would hire people, train them, and then all of a sudden one day they would stop coming to work. She blamed it on the millennial thing, but I think it was just, I think she had other issues that we needed to unravel for her business. And as soon as we did that, people started coming to work and not quitting anymore. Do you happen to have a printing business? One printer improved their efficiency by reducing their turnaround time on orders to less than 72 hours. It had been 4 weeks, and they increased their profits 153% in about 5 months because they were so much more competitive. They could bid on and win more jobs because they had increased their turnaround time. So now you know how to ethically steal the secrets to living the 4-hour work week, and it's not with an online business. You can apply those 4 steps to any type business and supersize your business. Let's pop on to secret number 2, how to supersize your business without working yourself to death. This one is very near and dear to my heart. Many business owners think, I don't believe this will work for me and my special, unique unicorn business. I don't have time. In addition to my business being so special and unique, I'm wearing too many hats already. How am I possibly going to make this happen? And I see how it works for businesses. Yep, you've shown me some businesses it worked for. So, I get that it's worked for their business, but mine is so special, so different, so unique. And I am such a unique unicorn that I don't see how it would work for me either. Well, let me share a quick story with you. Remember in 2004, I started doing this, bought out my partner, or began to buy out my partner. Of course, I financed that and had to buy her out over time, but I did that in 14 months. But as part of my supersizing business efforts, by 2007, I had gotten down to working an hour a day, 4 days a week. And then once in a while, I'd do other projects and I would work more. But for the most part, I'd pop in 4 hours, for an hour a day. And that's with my granddaughter, I was able to do that. And that was awesome. But the husband looked around at that time because he was still my husband. And he said, well, geez, in 2007, he said, geez, you're not really working that hard. I see you doing volunteer work and some stuff and hanging out with the kids and things. But if you can do this for one business, maybe we should get involved in real estate. So I agreed and we decided we'd get involved in real estate. But getting involved in real estate didn't mean starting one real estate business. It meant starting 6 real estate businesses. And before I knew it, I was not only running the Italian food business, but I was a real estate agent. I was a real estate broker. I was a foreclosure specialist negotiator. I was a loss mitigator and loan modifier. I was a landlord. I was doing commercial real estate. We were doing rehabs, and I was doing marketing and sales and a whole lot of negotiating and all kinds of things for all these different businesses. And by 2010, it was too many businesses. And we had other businesses too. One of which we had a really bad business partner in who ended up getting us embroiled in a nasty lawsuit with the municipality that we were located in. And a whole lot of stress and nonsense with some other businesses, which you should never be involved in debates with other businesses because it's none of their business how you run their business. And that doesn't have anything to do with the municipality. But one sly business owner decided to make it the municipality and just created this big mess for us. And I took it personally, and I knew I was the one that was going to have to unravel it for this business partner and for our business. And I ended up with a bunch of false beliefs that I started living with again, trying to do everything myself, believing I had to do everything myself. And I was in these businesses that were okay for other people, but they were very hard on me and the type of person that I am. And all of this led to me having a huge health challenge. I learned firsthand that you can actually work yourself to death. I remember leaving a city council meeting. We got our liquor license back by suing the city. We won our lawsuit, but we had to go to a couple city council meetings to hammer out some details of how we were going to operate our business, because the city decided they needed to have a say in how we ran our business. Another long story. But I left the city council meeting because I went there for our part, and then I just had enough. So I left, and I was walking back to my business, which was only about 2 blocks away. And for some reason, I decided I would cut through the upstairs, which was the bar and the restaurant that was in question here. And it's a good thing I did, because about 5 steps into the door, right here at this location, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. Fortunately for me, right by my head, you can't really see it, but the men's room door is right there. And the bartender had decided he had gone to the bathroom right before I came in. And as he was walking out, he almost stepped on me. And I was fortunate that he knew CPR. Sorry about the phone. He knew CPR, so he, started to do CPR and had somebody at the bar call 911, and he kept me going until the police car was able to, and the paramedics were there, and they could come and they could use a defibrillator and jumpstart my heart. Well, that kind of began, I don't know, I was in a coma for this whole thing, so this is just what people have told me after the fact, but I woke up in the hospital after they'd frozen me for about a week or so, and of course the words, "What the fuck," were the first words out of my mouth. And I guess that should have been an indication that there was something wrong. Waking up in the hospital after being frozen for over a week should probably have been the indication that there was something wrong. And it indeed was, but I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't figure out why there was this huge steady stream of smiling people coming in my door and talking to me. And it was just surreal. But after I had heart surgery and went home, I knew immediately that I was going to have to make some changes. I started to do some research and find out what had happened to me, and that explained why all the people were coming into my room. Statistically, there is no reason I should be here talking to you today. It's definitely in the miracle zone, and I needed to understand what that was about and why that happened. And my research led me to believe that most people that have something like this happen in their life, number one, they're not discovered in time and they die. Only about 6 or 7% of people that survive a sudden cardiac arrest or have one are found and then are resuscitated. And of those 6 or 7%, only 6 or 7% don't have long-term mental or organ damage from lack of oxygen or whatever to their brains. So the reason all the people were coming in to see me was, number one, I could talk and put 2 words together, and I think that made them amazed, although I think my family was laying bets on what my first words were going to be when I woke up. And I guess that's good, because they assumed I was going to wake up, although I guess it was touch and go for a long time. But I did wake up, and I am here, and I am talking to you, but I needed to figure out what had happened and how I was going to make sure it didn't happen again, because the statistics also said that most people that have an event like this die within 3 to 6 years of that event, unless they make massive lifestyle changes. So I knew I needed to make massive lifestyle changes, both in my personal life and in my business. And whenever you have an event like this, you have to go to something called cardiac rehab. And the other thing they do is they take away your driver's license for 6 months. That was probably the worst part of the whole thing for me, because I slept through most of the worst part for me. And then I had heart surgery, and that wasn't actually as bad as I thought. It was kind of uncomfortable, and I couldn't lift my arm for 8 weeks. But I mean, come on, I was here, right? But I learned, and it was sort of a huge ego check for me, that my business could survive and actually thrive without me. Now I'm talking the Italian food business. As part of the changes I needed to make, I stopped doing all of the real estate businesses. I immediately had people contact all of our clients, and I found them other resources, but I stopped doing all of those businesses almost immediately, with very few exceptions, immediately. The real estate business, the ex-husband's still doing it, but to me, I couldn't do the parts that I was doing, because I had all the parts that weren't fun and that weren't good for me and my personality. But it was interesting to see that the Italian food business just kept chugging along. And that gave me a glimpse into what I needed to be doing for my future of business, not just for my health. But all of us business owners, we all think that, because it's true, Our businesses are living, breathing entities. They're like our kids, right? And even if you don't have kids, you can relate to this because that's what having kids feels like. You're responsible for them all the time. And we tend to hover a bit too much and micromanage. And we need to learn that we need to step back. Part of what I also began studying during this time that I couldn't work was that I studied a lot of businesses that have failed. And I found that one of the main reasons businesses fail is because their owner actually snuffs them out and smothers them. Not on purpose, but because they don't get out of the way and let the business grow as it needs to grow. You know, we always let our kids learn how to walk. We let them fall down and we let them walk. We get out of their way so that they learn to walk, because if we didn't let them do that and we didn't let them fall down and experiment and try and grow, they would never walk. They'd be dependent on us forever. And that doesn't work in the world of business. So as I made changes in my lifestyle, I also made changes in my business, and I knew that I had to help other business owners to avoid my plight. Death is not a lesson that most people are fortunate enough to come back from. And I created a process and a system for supersizing my business. And then I started teaching that process and that system to other business owners. And it was amazing how fast they could duplicate my success and actually surpass my success. I'll admit I was a little jealous at first, but seeing others supersize their business, it's exciting. And I know that these business owners are changing their world, but they're in turn changing the entire world. And I am all about seeing us make the world a better place. So who wants to know how to supersize their business? I'm going to do either Phil's Laundromat or Heather and Kathy's Day Spa. You guys can go ahead and vote in the comments which business you'd like to see me do. I only really have time to do one, but we will run through one. And no, that isn't Phil. That's actually my beautiful granddaughter and one of my sisters at Phil's Laundromat. So go ahead and vote. I'm gonna have a sip of water. So who do you want me to choose? It's looking like Heather and Kathy's salon. It's a spa. I almost call it a salon. It's a day spa. And what I did, this pre-work for this, is I went through the first 3 steps of the 4-step process that we covered. And I talked to both Phil and Kathy and Heather on the phone and got the preliminary information so that I knew which direction we needed to go with their strategy. So even though I'm not going to do Phil, I want to share with you what he's doing because it's really exciting. And it might be something that you could apply to your business if you happen to have a laundromat. Well, Phil's got a coin-operated laundromat. And on our call, our information call, because I called him to find out some more information to see, you know, what I could do for him and what we could do for him in terms of supersizing his business. What came up in the discussion over and over again is that his customers were asking for something that he didn't provide, a service he didn't provide, and that's dry cleaning. Well, he's got coin-operated machines at his place, but he doesn't offer the service of dry cleaning. And he said his customers kept asking, and they want to dry cleaning services because they want to just stop one place and deal with all of their laundry related needs. So we discussed how easily and quickly he is going to be able to add an entire additional stream of income to his business. And that's his first step in supersizing his business. And it's cool because he can totally outsource the entire thing. He's already got an attendant on duty at the laundromat 24/7 to make change and help people if they have problems with any of the equipment. So this person's already in place and they can take the orders and do the little steps that he needs to do to handle having dry cleaning at his facility. He's also got the space to do it. So it's a win-win thing and a really quick supersizing strategy that he can put into place. One way to supersize your business is to add additional streams of income to your existing business already. So that's the one that we're doing for him and that we're helping him with. Just because he was wise enough to fill out the application to ask. Power of asking. So Heather and Kathy, although they're both business to consumer businesses, what they needed is something entirely different. And on our preliminary discussion talking to them, what they really need is more customers, because both of them have working spouses who are supporting their family. And what they really want is for the day spa to support both of their families and actually much, much more after our discussion. But what we learned by discussing this and talking about what they've got in place already is that, bottom line, they need more customers. They need customers coming to their spa. So the first step of the process, once you decide what your next step in your strategy is to supersize your business, is asking yourself, okay, what are we doing already in this area? So we began looking at, well, what were they doing already to get customers coming to their business? Well, they'd tried a couple of newspaper ads, but they weren't sure if those were successful or not. They'd actually done one mailer, but they didn't put a coupon on it, so they weren't really sure how successful that was. But that was about it. They were hoping, doing hope marketing, we know how great that is, hoping that people would just see it on Main Street and they would pop in to check it out. Well, they have a cute place, but it isn't really that attention grabbing on Main Street, so that strategy wasn't really working out very well for them. So the first thing we did is we brainstormed some other ways that they could get customers coming to them. And one of the things that I shared with them is something called the fishbowl technique. And you've seen it, you've probably seen it in businesses that you go to before. It's just we had their sons go around and actually ask local businesses if they could put a fishbowl and a little pad of paper in front of it. And we made a little sign on it that says, get a free hour on any piece of equipment at the day spa. And all they have to do is fill out a sheet of paper with their name and address and phone number and email. They don't have to put their address on, but name and phone number for sure, or name and email. And they can then enter for a chance to get drawn to win a free hour at the day spa. So that was our first step in getting customers coming to them. That was starting to work out pretty well. So as we've looked at that, we said, okay, well, that's a cool process, but what else could we do to optimize that? And actually, first we looked at what they were doing, which wasn't squat. So to optimize what they weren't doing, we added and supplemented by adding some steps. That's how you optimize the process, by having the boys go and deliver the fish bowl so that people actually started to come in automatically, and they started to get more people that they could contact. Because what I coached them to do was, you don't just pull one a week, you call everybody and tell them they got a free hour, or you call or message everybody and tell them they got a free hour. So that's how we optimized their process. Then after you optimize the process, the next step in supersizing your process is to ask yourself, are there ways that I can automate this process? Are there ways that we can do this on autopilot so that we don't have to use our time and energy and resources doing it? And of course, there are, in this day and age of internet and technology, it's possible to make a little 1 or 2 page website that attracts the people that you want to you, and all they have to do is exchange their email or their name and email or their phone number, whatever Heather and Kathy want. I, again, coach them to just ask for email so that they would get the maximum number of responses. And we created a little 2-page, it's called a sales funnel or a website, or a lead magnet that attracts their ideal customer by offering them the same thing they're offering them in the fishbowl, a free hour at the spa. And then Kathy and Heather, or whoever else they want, will follow up with those leads and call or email them and invite them to the day spa, where they have the opportunity to upsell them to their membership at the day spa. So that's how we're automating that. And then the next step of the process is to delegate and outsource if appropriate. Well, they could delegate this, but for right now, they want to do it themselves till they understand and learn the process. But down the road, they're thinking that they'll have the receptionist help with this, or some of the other service providers that they work with help with this activity. But for, right now, they want to keep it in-house and do it themselves. But they could actually outsource and delegate this, or outsource it to a third party if they want down the road, because such parties are available and tools are available to do it. And then the 5th step of the process is, of course, my favorite as a quality professional, a retired quality professional, I guess. I think quality is in your blood. Once you're a quality person, you're always a quality person. But the audit, test, and continuous improvement cycle, this step of the process to me is the most important, because I firmly believe that anything we do, anything any of us do, there's a faster, easier, more efficient, effective way of doing it. We just haven't found it yet. And so we always want to be looking at and paying attention to how and what we do to find ways of doing it better, faster, easier, and more efficiently, right? So some business owners might be thinking some of these things, and I am a little reticent to admit that I actually had all of these false beliefs at some time in my past and in my life. We don't always want to admit that we don't think that we're good enough, or smart enough, but there were a lot of times I didn't think I was good enough or smart enough to supersize my business. I didn't think I had the right connections, and I used to believe that, it was more who you knew in the good old boys network, because I've been in a lot of industries that are good old boys networks. And I know that there are secrets that you don't get inside information to if you aren't part of that good old boys network. But I had all of these, and I learned that they're all false beliefs. They're all lies for me. I used to think that I was the only one that could do everything for my business. I thought I worked and did it better and faster than anybody. And then I'd hire somebody and they would do it better and faster than me. And I'm like, oh, I guess that was not true. And when I think about false beliefs and that they're lies, a belief can be false for me, but true for somebody else. My sister, for example, if I say I suck at tennis, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me at all because I know I suck at tennis. I'm blind in one eye and I need a magnifying glass to see out of the other. So although I spent years trying to still play tennis, it was ridiculous. And at some point I resigned myself to the fact that I suck at tennis. My sister on the other, and so I don't feel bad at all if I hear that. But if my sister were to say I suck at tennis, it would feel bad to her because it's a lie for her. She's an awesome tennis player. She can see out of both eyes and she's really quick and agile. And so that is an example of how we know if a belief is true for us or not. If it makes us feel bad, it's a lie. So that's how I know that all of these are lies. If I say to myself now, if I grow my business, I'll have to work longer and harder, I know that that's not true. I know that that is a false belief and a lie. The ugly truth is often the biggest obstacle in supersizing our businesses is us, the owner. And I remember very clearly the day that that was right in my face. And I let go of the belief that I had to do everything and anything myself and that I was going to have to work harder to supersize my business. But it was also the day of freedom for me as well. So let's look at some more businesses that we've supersized. One author wrote and launched her book in less than 2 weeks. She'd been working on it for 5 years, but was never able to get it done before. She's actually a speaker, and she knew she needed this book done to really take her speaking business to the next level, and she just hadn't been able to get it done. And we showed her the Supersize, super quick strategies for creating your book, and we got it done and to the publisher in less than 2 weeks. I think it was like 13 and a half days, but it was just under 2 weeks. So any authors here? We can help you. Car dealerships. We helped a car dealership owner who was able to outsource 85% of his workload and finally spend time with his estranged wife and teenage children. He actually credits this with saving his marriage and keeping his youngest son out of juvenile jail. Anybody with a dealership here? It doesn't have to be a car dealership. Could be any kind of middleman or business-to-business type sales situation. We work with lots of coaches and consultants, and this coach was actually she's a consultant, but she is a friend of mine, and she was sleeping on another one of our mutual friends' couches. And they called and talked to me, and we got to work on her business. And she was able to go from zero to actually some debt to $11,597 her first month, over $25,000 her second month. And last month she made over $35,000, and it's continuing to just grow for her, and everything's working out well. Secret truth is, if you can talk, if you can, put two ideas together, and if you've started your own business, you can obviously do that, then you can do this. We're all special. We're all different. We're all unique. Our businesses are all special and unique, and you use that to build upon and supersize your business. 90% of supersizing your business is a process, a repeatable, duplicatable process. It's based on science and it's objective. Just 10% of it is subjective and art. That's where you come in. That's where your unique unicorn skills and abilities come in to making this process work for you. Supersize business does 90% of the heavy lifting for you, and you can hire the rest if you don't want to do it yourself. You have to give input for your 10%, but you don't actually have to do it yourself. So now you know how to supersize your business without working yourself to death. Let's hop into secret number 3, how to make competition irrelevant, even in the most competitive industries and businesses. I love quotes about competition because I have such a different view on competition than most people. Beating a competition is easy. Beating yourself is a never-ending commitment. Remember continuous improvement? I'm all about lifelong learning and continuous improvement. And that means I am my own and only competition. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being excited about what could go right. Most people focus on what could go wrong. Most of society focuses on the average and what could go wrong. But by focusing on what could go right, by setting your goals and your sights high, you're automatically placing yourself and your business above the competition. Some business owners think, I don't know how to compete. I see new places opening up all the time in my industry and in my area, and I just feel overwhelmed. I am in the most competitive industry on the planet. Do you think that? If you do, put yes in the comments box. If you think that, and then go ahead and share your industry or your business so that we can see if we also agree that it's one of the most competitive. And I'm going to share a story with you. I call it a tale of two bars. It's actually a tale of two bar-restaurant combos because they're both bars and restaurants, not just solely bars. But bar number one I've been associated with for a really long time. And bar number one's owner was in a really enviable position where in his area, he was like the big dog, the place everybody went for about a 5-year period. And he was pretty much smiling all the way to the bank and enjoying virtually a monopoly. Yeah, there were other restaurants and bars in the area, but he was definitely the top gun one in the area. All the people came to his business and really enjoyed going there. And so he enjoyed a very healthy business. And then all of a sudden, actually it wasn't all of a sudden, but it felt like all of a sudden to him, bar number two bought an existing business and did an incredible rehab and renovation of that particular property and started getting a whole lot of bar number one's customers. Bar number one owner was freaking out, started doing some crazy competitive things like slashing prices and doing just some crazy things that were not really in his best interest and were actually making matters worse. Now, lucky for him, he knew me, and we were having a conversation one afternoon, and he was complaining about what was going on and talking about what was going on. And I said, well, geez, I do this with businesses nowadays. I might be able to help you. It's like, please, whatever you can do. So we started working together, and we did some really fun things. Since it was a business I'd been associated with a long time, I got some kind of creative license to do things that I wouldn't necessarily have done with other businesses, but they were really powerful and really helpful, and we've now applied them to other businesses since then. But he was kind of a testing ground and experimentation spot for me in the early stages of this. And what I asked him to do after we did this was to share some of the lessons that he learned so that I could share them with you as part of this presentation. And here's some of the key takeaways that he shared with me. He realized that he didn't want everybody, all the customers, coming back to his place. And how we discovered this was we spent a couple of Friday and Saturday nights down at the bar restaurant. And after hours, it becomes more of a bar than a restaurant. And we saw what happens when 21-year-old males, testosterone, and a lot of alcohol combine. And it wasn't always pretty. Saw urinals get ripped off the wall, people throwing up in various places around the establishment, bar fights, people getting in fights over like nothing, property getting damaged, things being pulled off the ceiling. One guy stuck his hand through the front window. I mean, it was just crazy town. And he realized that, yeah, I don't really want everybody back. I just want my ideal customers back. So we learned about ideal customers and how he could attract just his ideal customers back and leave the customers he didn't necessarily want going to bar number two. I taught him about the lifelong value of a customer, and we actually calculated and figured that the lifelong value of a customer for his business was over $6,000. And so that made it really attractive for him to not just get new customers coming to his place, but also to keep them. So we actually automated the process of nurturing the relationship and building relationships with the customers so that not only would they come back or come to his place once, but they would come back again. They would be repeat customers. They would come more often. They would spend more, and they would spread the word about what a cool place he has to other people. And we discussed the 1,000 True Fans. It's an article by Kevin Kelly from 2008 that tells you that any artist or business only needs really 1,000 true fans, people that know, like, and trust you to choose your business and be loyal to your business to make an incredible living. So those are some of the takeaways that he had about competition. And it's a good thing we had that conversation and did that work, because in the next 9 months, 7 new places opened up in his area. And he confessed to me that he would have for sure quit the business or had some kind of a major health challenge that would have caused changes in the business if he hadn't done the work with the first one, because so many other competitors came into town and he had no idea how he was going to deal with that. Part of what we discuss and we uncover in the process of supersizing your business is something I call invisible value creation. And it's kind of a concept I combined from a couple other concepts, where Tony Robbins talks about the first step is setting goals. And setting goals is that first step to turning the invisible into the visible. And that companies that solely focus on competition will ultimately die, because they'll do things like bar owner number 1 was doing, that actually kill their business and make them less competitive and less profitable. But if you focus on value creation, you'll thrive, because you're always looking for new ways to delight and serve your existing customers. And business success is all about what you give in exchange for the value you receive in terms of people's money. It's all about what you give first and then what you receive second. A lot of people don't understand that. So you might be thinking, well, I don't know how to do a lot of this stuff you've talked about in these steps, Sharon. What the heck am I going to do? I don't know how to create lifelong customers. I don't know how to outsource. I don't know. I mean, I know kind of how to negotiate with vendors, but not really. I don't really know how to deal with regulators and auditors and government officials and other professionals. I don't know how to bring people into my brand family and build know, like, and trust. Well, the good news is you don't have to, because we've got you covered in Supersize Your Business. When you serve your customers better than, this is the truth about secret number 3. When you serve your customers better than anybody else and you give them exactly what they want, if you make them part of your tribe and family, they become lifelong, loyal, delighted supporters of your business, and they insulate you from the world and anything the world has to dish out. Not just from your competition, but from things like changes in the economy, government regulation, haters and critics. They'll become your best defenders against haters and critics so that you don't even have to defend yourself. See what happens when somebody writes a bad restaurant review in one of the restaurant review sites. When you've got avid fans, they respond and chew a new you-know-what for the haters and the critics. You actually become unstoppable. You are your only competition. This is how I think about competition nowadays. I know that nobody can compete with me. There's lots of other businesses that offer business growth or growth strategies to other businesses, but nobody can offer what I do. I know that I am my only competition, and that I will continue to get better and better at what I offer my customers, the people that are attracted to and want to work with me. And Henry Ford says this about competition. He says, the competitor to be feared is the one who never bothers about you at all, but goes on making his own business better all the time. Now, we all know you don't have to look very far or wide to see a Ford, right? So obviously Henry Ford knew what he was talking about with respect to competition. Let's look at a few more businesses. This is actually my nail salon. My nail salon added a recurring product that 3 times their sales in 90 days. They actually had to open another location to deliver on the recurring product that they had sold. I actually picked this picture because I love those nails. I'm going to go and have them make those for me. How about a restaurant? I have worked with, and we work with a lot of restaurants and bars because I've owned them, so it's a really easy area for me to help them to supersize their business. This restaurant owner automated customer handling and increased their profits 48% in 60 days, in just 2 months. How about retail? Anybody here have a retail business? Could be any kind of retail. This happens to be an antique boutique that reduced their inventory by 63% and their overhead by 27% in just 6 months. And the reason it took us 6 months is because the place had to be cleaned out of the shit that was in there that was never going to sell. And that's why we had to reduce inventory as their place to start to supersize their business. Manufacturing, again, I've been involved in a lot of manufacturing for a lot of years, so I love working with manufacturers. And it's a quick place. It's an easy business to get a lot of quick wins and to supersize your business quickly in. This food manufacturer was able to reduce their waste by 39% within 67 days. Pretty cool. So now you know how to make competition irrelevant, even in the most competitive industries and businesses. So what have we covered? We've covered a lot. Secret number 1, how to ethically steal the secret to living the 4-hour work week, and it's not with an online business. However, online businesses can do it even faster and easier than brick and mortar businesses. Secret number 2, how to supersize your business without working yourself to death. And secret number 3, how to make competition irrelevant, even in the most competitive industries and businesses. So let me ask you a question. Been talking pretty fast and quickly for a while here. Are you enjoying the webinar so far? If you are, and could put it in the comments box, that would make me feel appreciated. So who wants to take it to the next level? Put in the Q&A box, I'm ready. So webinar, you know I've got an offer. I've mentioned that I've created a process for supersizing your business, and I want to make a special offer for you today for listening, but only if you're interested. I already know how to supersize businesses, mine and a whole bunch of other people's, but if you would like to know more about how you can supersize your business, go ahead and put it in the comments box. I also have put an application here. If anybody has looked at this and they're thinking, oh my God, I love this. I know I need to do it for my business, but it looks too overwhelming for me. You can go ahead and apply to work with us one-on-one. I will let you know it is significantly higher price working with us one-on-one when we do it with your business than the offer I'm about to present to you. But I did want to say, hey, this is available. If you're interested and you know you want it done, go ahead and fill out the application here. I will forewarn you, we don't work with everybody. If we think your organization isn't in a position to do this, we're not going to take you on. We won't work with you. We're not saying that to be mean. We just want to ensure your success. Thank you for saying yes, people. I am so excited to introduce to you Supersize Business Secrets Masterclass. You get everything you need to supersize your business without working yourself to death. Here's just a brainstorm list of some of the things that are going to be involved in this masterclass. This is the first time I'll be delivering this in an online format in the form of a masterclass. I've been doing this with and teaching people how to do this in small groups up until now, but I want to make it available to more people, so I want to offer it in the masterclass format. I was thinking it would be a 6-week masterclass, but as I'm mapping it out more, it's looking more like it's going to be an 8-week masterclass. In order to cover all the steps that we've talked about in the 4 steps, the 4 steps really have to be broken down so that you can do creating a workbook, so you can do step-by-step each step of the process for your business in a fashion that ensures your success. Supersize Business Secrets is all about helping you to supersize your business. You can expect to see results in as little as 45 minutes after implementing the first lesson. And I have a little note here about live events, because one of the bonuses I'm offering is for 10 businesses only to come to a 1 to 3 day live workshop to take you by the hand and do this for your business. I've done up to 5 businesses before in this workshop, and they have gotten unbelievable results in just 2 days of leaving the event because they've got everything in place and ready to go. Here's another example. Liquor store owner can now run her entire business with just 2 employees. She used some automating tools to attract customers, outsourced all of her accounting, payroll, and tax handling tasks, and that saved her 10 hours a week personally, which allowed her to spend more time with her granddaughters at the cabin that she bought with the increased profit she's experiencing in her business. She's up 22% this year already, and she'd only ever had single-digit increases year over year previously. So again, who does this work for? Anybody that's got a business, an existing business. Even if your business results are sucking right now, this will work for your business. You just have got to have made the commitment to yourself that you're going to have a business. And now this is how you supersize and grow your business. Again, if you don't see your specific type business, like I don't have any nonprofits on here, and we've worked with a lot of nonprofit organizations and done a lot of nonprofit things. If you don't see it here, put it in the comments box, and I will make sure we hook you up with a success story from somebody that we've worked with that does have a business just like yours. Remember I mentioned earlier about the Supersize Your Business Surprise? Well, and I guarantee that it'll help you take your business to the next level. Here it is. The number one reason people don't get started with us is because they don't think they have enough time and that they can get the time away from their business to make this happen for their business, or the time from the tasks they're already doing in their business to devote to supersizing their business. You know, the whole working in versus on your business thing. Supersizing your business is all about working on your business. So what we do in this is we show you how to free up 10 hours of your time immediately. And 2 hours a day, if that's how you break it up, or 10 hours a week, is more than enough to work on your business to supersize it. The time and money that you'll save by doing Supersize Your Business and doing this masterclass, well, I spent the equivalent plus of a doctorate, 7.5 years working on this, figuring out the process, perfecting the process on other people's businesses, not yours. But one of the biggest things that you can save yourself is the stress, doubt, worry, and fear of how to put it all together for your business, knowing what to do and how to do it. That steep learning curve that stops most of us from supersizing our business and has us settling to be mediocre and to compete with all the other people that are just like us in the marketplace. Spent tens of thousands of dollars on expert coaching and advice in all the different business areas that you're going to need to supersize your business. You don't just have to supersize the one thing that you're expert at. As your business grows, it's going to have growing needs. You're going to need hiring practices, purchasing departments, probably tax advisors, legal advice, all of those different areas that you might not have even considered while you're small, but you're going to need to consider as you grow. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, a $24,997 value. Well, what else do you need to supersize your business? How about Supersize Your Business map, the personalized strategy and the strategic map that you need for your unique special business to supersize your business faster and easier than you ever dreamt possible. And then all the tools, resources, support that goes along with optimizing, outsourcing, delivering, and supersizing your operation. Here's just some of the tools that we call upon. I've got a resource of thousands of different tools that we can use depending on what industry you're in and what you want to achieve with your business. One of my favorite personal tools, for example, is Voxer. Remember I mentioned about my tennis game and that I can't see? Well, Voxer is a walkie-talkie type application that allows me to push a button and talk into my phone and respond to my coaching students. Incredibly powerful and super applicable for somebody like me. So with these tools, you're able to implement the entire Supersize Your Business strategy, map out, and you get the customized map for your business. And it's different for each of us because we are unique and special in our businesses. And what we offer our customers needs to be unique in order for us to supersize our business. But we get to map out that entire strategy. You get to understand your business's results and have the information that you need at your fingertips to make business decisions or not make business decisions, to get out of your business's way and let it do its thing. You always know what to do and you know what your next move is. You get to get rid of things like working all the time, unnecessary expenses and service providers, tasks below your pay grade. This was huge for me. The day that I realized that I had gone from my corporate salary and I figured out that hourly wage as I was standing in a grocery store freezer department, cutting ravioli and stabbing it with toothpicks, was the day that I realized I needed to work on my business, not in my business. Lack of free time, sleepless nights, stress-filled days, health challenges, running through your life. You get to get rid of all of this when you supersize your business. Tina from Racine shared this. I was just going through the motions, putting out fires every day. Sharon helped turn my business into a proactive rather than reactive endeavor. Now I feel so much more confident and sure of what I'm doing. We have a mapped out step-by-step process for supersized growth and profitability to follow. No more guessing or stressing. How would that be for your business? Would that help you? You might be thinking, I can't afford to do this right now. I get it because I felt that way too. But then I ask myself, if I can't afford to supersize my business, when the heck will I? How can you afford to not do this immediately? I actually realized that I had to keep growing and supersizing my business if I ever wanted to get out of the hole, because I was in a pretty big financial hole. I owed my parents life money and I owed my partner a big chunk of money, more than most people pay to start their businesses, to buy her out. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to limp along much longer if I didn't make massive changes and supersize my business. So let me ask you, how much longer can your business go and keep going if it's limping along, if you're struggling, or even if it's doing well? How long can you keep on going like you are before you get that bar number 2 moving into your area that does things better than you do and differently than you do? How much more can you actually do without burning out? How much more can you do? And God forbid, knock wood, if you were to get sick or somebody you love and care about were to get sick, what would happen to your business? That's what I'd like to ask you today. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, Resources, and the map, the strategic map for your business, $9,997 value. It's a total value of $34,994. But what else do you need? What else do you need to help you know that you need to supersize your business starting now? How about Supersize Secret Studies? Insider secrets not revealed anywhere else. These are secrets most business owners would never openly share. They're what they consider their competitive advantage. They're what's worked and lessons learned and business case studies from some of the biggest, most powerful corporations in the world and from other businesses that have supersized their business and are supersizing their businesses just like you. One of the coolest things about my role in corporate America, and I worked for some of the biggest corporations in the world, was that as a quality director or executive or vice president or whatever role I was playing in the individual organizations, I was privy to everybody's business. My job was to understand every department's processes and how they worked together or didn't work together, and all of the secret ways and strategies that they made those different functions work. So I got a whole lot of secrets that most people have never been privy to, not in just one industry, but in many different industries. And you have access to those in Supersize Secret Studies. Cost to bring that to you? Well, it was 25 years in corporate America. It was 45 years of study and business research. I've got at least 6 figures invested in training, coaching, seminars, books, research, experimentation, trial and error. My sudden cardiac arrest, that one cost me almost $500,000 in medical expenses. That doesn't even count what it cost me in, time lost and toll on my business and my life and missed experiences with my family. Supersize Secret Studies, you might be thinking, I don't have the time. I think I've covered this, but let's talk about it a little bit more. My belief about time now is that time is the great equalizer. We can always get more money. Money always comes to us if we're providing value. Time, on the other hand, once I lose this 24 hours we're in right now, once I've spent that time, I can never get it back. We all have the same amount of time. And I put Richard Branson here, but I have the same amount of time as Tony Robbins, as my heroes, as anybody you could name. We all only get 24 hours in our day. It's a matter of what we prioritize and what we spend that time on that makes all the difference. When I was spending my 24 hours in my business, I was losing ground and downwardly spiraling. As I switched and flipped that switch and began spending time working on my business and supersizing my business, everything changed. So let me ask you, is supersizing your business and changing the world, your world anyway, important to you? Is it a priority? Is it a must for you? Because if it is, then you know that you've got to supersize your business. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. The Supersize Tools, the strategic map for your business, your strategy, a $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. It's a total value of $37,791. But wait, there's more. You also get Supersize Swipes. What are Supersize Swipes? All of our and the company, the businesses we've worked with, successful campaigns and strategies that they put into place. Emails, bots. Do you know about messenger bots? They're Facebook messengers that can be used to increase customer service, do relationship marketing, and they're 8 times more effective than email now. You're using email for your business, right? It's okay if you're not. The vast majority of businesses, believe it or not, aren't. People like to think in the online world that everybody's got a website or an online presence. Wake up. Most people don't. Most restaurants and bars, and that's just one industry, don't. I mean, it's incredible how many don't. It's the vast majority don't. More don't than do. But these are just some of the swipes that you get. Our past Dream 100, which is an incredibly powerful strategy for building and supersizing your business. Our past successful lumpy mail campaigns, our marketing campaigns, our ads, our actual successful websites or funnels. You get those for free as part of Supersize swipes. So you might be thinking, I don't want to do this. It's so overwhelming to me. I don't know how I'm ever going to figure it out. Well, here's the deal. You don't have to. You can have somebody in your organization do it for you and for your organization. You got to give them input because you're the owner, you're the director, you're the guiding light and force of your organization. You're the lifeblood of your organization. So you have to give your input. But as far as actually doing this masterclass, we'll train somebody for you. Whoever you pick, we'll train them for you. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, a $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, a $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, a $2,597 value. It's a total value of $40,388. But what else do you need? What do you need to know to be able to say, oh my God, I got to supersize my business right now? How about our Supersize Secret Systems? These are systems that we've created for our businesses and for other people's businesses that they are just plug and play. You can take our automation secret system and plug it into your organization. You can take our different business function secrets, all aspects of the different functions that you need for your business to supersize it or for it to be supersized, and you can just plug and play the systems that we've got. You can just put them in place for your organization. Do you think that we've got a documented quality management system? Yes, of course we do. The best one in the world. How about customer handling? How to automate that system? Plug and play, push of a button. You can put it to work in your business. Social media and advertising secrets, influencer marketing system, relationship marketing, personality marketing, CANI, which stands for Continuous and Never-Ending Improvement Systems, and much, much more. Supersize systems have taken me 14 years of dedicated research and development. Since I left corporate America, I began creating these systems, perfecting these systems, and putting them in place. And again, I've been trialing and erroring them and experimenting with them in other people's businesses. So that's terrific for you because you know that they're proven systems. Spent tens of thousands of dollars creating these systems, testing these systems, and making sure that they work and will work for you too. Supersize business systems, again, you might be thinking, well, geez, I've tried and purchased different systems from other people. I got that bot course. I still haven't done it. I got that how to generate leads for free course. I still haven't done that. I've hired a guru, coach, or consultant before, and they told me everything that was wrong with my business and then left me high and dry. Well, I'll tell you my real estate coach's story. I've done a couple. Over my career, I've made a couple of not great business decisions. Of course, we all do. I paid $6,000 in 2004 for a website from a guru seminar that we never got anything out of, never worked. It was pretty much a scam. And yeah, I had to eat that and live up with the ridicule from the ex-husband over that for years. But together we hired a real estate coach, a very expensive $50,000 a year real estate coach, and came to find out later on that they weren't actually they were just teaching us theory. They had never really done what they were teaching us to do. But fortunately for us, we had invested that money up front and come with deals that we knew we could close to more than make that money and that investment back, because it's an investment. Having a coach and a consultant, you need to look at that as an investment, not as money spent. And when you look at it that way, you go into it with strategies in mind to make sure you're going to get your money back up front. You never enter into a relationship like that unless you know for certain that you can earn your money back and then some. I always expect people to earn the money that they invest with me tenfold in a very short period of time, or I don't want them to work with us. So you know that that's not true with us, because we're going to guarantee to show you how to supersize your business or you get your money back. No questions asked. We're not satisfied until you are. Now, I'm going to admit, if you want your money back for any reason, no one's ever wanted their money back from me, but if you do, I'm probably going to ask, because I'm all about continuous improvement, and I'm going to want to know why or what we did wrong or why we weren't a fit for you so that I can do better next time. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, a $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, a $2,597 value. And Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. That is a total value of $42,385. So let me ask you a question. Obviously, I'm not going to charge you $42,385. But I will tell you, I do charge my corporate clients way, way more than that. But if I did charge you $42,385 today, and all this did was show you exactly how to supersize your business, would it be worth it to you? If all this did was increase your business's profits so you could quit stressing all the time and get a good night's sleep, would it be worth it to you? If all this did was let you cut to a 40-hour work week or less, like a normal person, would it be worth it to you? In corporate America, if I could have worked a 40-hour work week, it would have been worth over $150,000 a year to me. If all this did was reduce your expenses twice as much as the price so it pays for itself, would it be worth it to you? Because we're going to show you how to do that. If all this did was give you back your life and your family again, like it did our car dealer, would it be worth it to you? If all this did was reconnect you with the reason you started your business in the first place, would it be worth it to you? If all this did was free you, like me, from being a slave working in your business to the owner working on your business, would it be worth it to you? And if all this did was allow you to hire or outsource the 2 key people that you need most to supersize your results without costing your business any more money, would it be worth it to you? Because we show you how to do that in the course too. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. So total value of $42,385. I had 2 choices when I was putting this together. The first option was to go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. Not much incentive for me to really stack on the value, like add all those things that are in this offer. No way. My second option requires a little higher investment on your part, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success. What would it be worth to you? If you were able to make your world better, what would it be worth to you? How about if you could supersize your business? What would that be worth to you? $42,385 value, actually plus much, much more. Supersize Business Secrets. My corporate clients pay me between $80,000 and $250,000 to do this for them. My last one was $353,000. Working with us one-on-one, we start at $25,000. But since you're on this webinar today, and because this is my strategy for supersizing my coaching business and going from one-on-one coaching and working with businesses individually to working with groups and to go to the group model, and this is the inaugural class, I want you to create this and make sure that the online version of it is absolutely incredible and as good as working with us one-on-one. I'm offering you a really, really deep discount. You can get started today for just $4,997. You're not going to pay $42,385. You're not even going to pay our regular starting price of $25,000. Today, by going to supersizebusiness.com/go, you can pay just $4,997. So again, what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools and your strategic map, $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. And Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $42,385 for just $4,997 by going to supersizebusiness.com/go. So now you've got 2 choices. Your first option, you can do nothing and not take this little leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, by the way, and probably not much will change in your business, right? Or the second option that you've got is to pony up this small investment today compared to all the value that you'll get in return and just give it a shot. If I can't make you money, then I don't deserve yours. That's why we've got the Supersize Guarantee. You can sign up today. If you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes from now, just let me know and we'll give you your money back. The real question is, Is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which if it does even half of what I've claimed today on this training will pay for itself as soon as you start applying the very first lesson in Supersize Business Secrets. So again, what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. Supersize Secret Systems, $1,997 value. It's a total value of $42,385 for just $4,997 today. And as if this wasn't amazing enough already, the first 10 fast action takers that I mentioned earlier will be invited to a live workshop, a 1 to 3 day live workshop where we take you by the hand and walk you through the entire process step by step. This program is actually 40 years in the making. In-person participants always, I've done that with 5 businesses at a time before, they always get double the results of anybody else. Even the people that we've gone through one-on-one with their company, the people that go through this as businesses with us in the workshop actually get better results. And I think that there's reasons for that. I think the reason is they care more about their business succeeding than a big corporation's management team. As much as a management team cares, they also have lives outside of this. To people that are doing it for their own business, they're far more motivated to make their world a better place than the corporation's world a better place, right? You might be thinking, I can't get away from my business for 1 to 3 days. And again, I would ask you, if you can't, that's a really scary position to be in. If you're a one-person shop doing absolutely everything yourself, and I wasn't doing everything myself, but I was doing a whole lot myself in the beginning, and I would have thought I could never get away. But then I would have seen that this investment would have been my best hope for getting the results that I wanted. I would have been better off shutting my business down for 3 days, the way I was working and doing this, than what I was doing, and then spending the 3 years that it took me to supersize that business. What's it worth? 3 days, 3 years, no contest. The value of this is $14,997. The people that attended in the past have paid $25,000. But I think as we can streamline the system and the processes, and I can teach other people to help me with parts of it, we can cut the expense back for businesses. So $14,987. Only 10. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $42,385. If you're one of the first 10, that's another $14,997, all for a one-time payment of $4,997. Again, here's that application. If you want to work with us one-on-one, you can start at $25,000, or you can join us on the masterclass for just $4,997. Now, as another bonus to the people that aren't among the first 10, I wanted to offer another amazing bonus. You get free immediate access to a Pajamagramma Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind. It's a $4,997 value. You can see it for sale for that amount at this address right here. You can go check it out. But it's available to you along with your purchase of the Secrets Masterclass. You get the Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind, both a $4,997 value or price today. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools and your own strategic map, $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. $42,385 value, plus the Pajamagramma Expert Secrets Coaching Mastermind, a $4,997 value. Plus, if you're one of the first 10, the $14,997 workshop, all for $4,997 right now. Again, you can get this by going to supersizebusiness.com/go. Bonus number 3 is an invitation to our Supersize lifetime access to our Supersize Your Business closed group. I didn't put a value on that because how do you put a value on community? Part of what makes this so special and so amazing is we learn from one another. So you're not just learning from me, you're learning from everyone else as well. So what are you going to get? Supersize Business Masterclass, $24,997 value. Supersize Tools, a $9,997 value. Supersize Secret Studies, a $2,797 value. Supersize Swipes, $2,597 value. And Supersize Secret Systems, a $1,997 value. It's a total value of $42,385 plus all the bonuses for just $4,997 by going to supersizebusiness.com/go. And I just added this super special assessment. Sorry, my son-in-law came home with the dogs. For 75% off, I've decided to offer as the order bump on the order page for $2,497. It's regularly $19,997 and actually $25,000 or more for our corporate clients. But I've offered this before where we will come in and do for you the first 3 steps of the process, the assessment part, and get you all set to begin implementing your Supersize strategy. So this does all the homework, all the heavy lifting for you, and it's offered as the order bump. Now you're going to have to fill out an application for this. And if for some reason we decide that we're not going to work with you and do this for you, and there's really only one reason we wouldn't, and that's if we think that your organization isn't ready for it, we won't do this at this price for you, and we'll give you your money back because we don't want you to ever, do something that your business isn't in a position to take good advantage of and be successful at. So I want to stay on the line and answer some questions if you have them. I'm going to go ahead in my lovely pajamas and try to pop back to the presentation. And I need my magnifying glass so I don't accidentally shut it off because I have done that before. We're going to stop this recording. And I'm going to go back to our main screen. I'm going to leave this be for right now. I love when it does that cascading thing. It makes me look crazy. Cray-cray, my nephew calls it. And once in a while, they tell me I'm cray-cray. Uh-oh. What did I do? Hang on. You get to see all my tests and my recordings. This is how you know I'm a real person, right? A real person that doesn't have I actually have really good technical skills. I just don't have very good vision, so it's hard for me to do some of this. I need to give it a new name because I've already got one this name. Call it 5. I lost count. I lost track of my numbers, so I'm just calling it 5. So if anybody has any questions, I am going to, again, try to switch over. I don't know that I can do that. How do I do that? Anybody? How do I switch over to actually being able to answer questions? Oh my goodness, don't you love watching everything render for my thing? Okay, well, I'll talk about, since I can't see questions, I'll just go ahead and answer a couple of questions that I know people always have, assuming that we're still live. I think we are, yes. I think we're still live. I see cascading, so we're live. The one thing I get a lot is, do you have a payment plan? And I'm gonna say no, I don't have a payment plan. And I have really strong reasons for not having a payment plan. I guess number one, the litmus test for me is if you don't have enough business credit to afford $5,000 to invest in your business at this point, then you shouldn't be investing in this supersizing your business. You probably need it more than anyone, and it is probably the quickest, fastest, easiest way for you to actually get success and to be able to afford $5,000 things and investments in your business in the future. But I don't ever want to see anybody strapped for the money to invest in something that I'm teaching you how to do. So that's my first reason. My second reason is that I've learned over the years, and I've had lots of experience with this, that people that pay attention. I've been involved in a lot of coaching programs and coaching groups, and I observe time and time again that the people that pay up front are 10 times more likely and active in actually doing what it is they're being taught. People that pay up front actually do the coaching programs that they buy. They actually do the courses that they purchase. People that pay month to month, it becomes really easy to justify letting go and letting time go by. And it's just this little investment of money versus the big investment. And what they never do the math on it to figure out is that if they're paying monthly, they're usually paying way more for the opportunity than if they're paying for it up front. So early on, my husband and I determined that we would always pay for things up front and we would always look at them as an investment, meaning that we would head into them knowing the steps we would have to take for them to be successful, for us to get back our investment, and always at least 3 to 10 times our investment, not just the amount that we invested. So that is my reasoning for not having a payment plan on this iteration of the online course. I've been really clear. I intend to make this an ongoing online course, but it will be at least twice as much, if not 3 times as much as what you're paying for it today. I'm not going to say I'm not going to offer a payment plan for that down the road, but I'm leaning against doing it in the future, even at a higher price point, because I know how important it is for people to invest in themselves so that they'll take the action that they need to take. Otherwise, as human beings, we like to procrastinate. I procrastinate sometimes, but I will say I am one of those people that if I buy a course, I do it. If I take a coaching program, I participate and I actually take action. I don't just watch it go by the wayside, because I've seen how detrimental that can be to people and to their businesses. So that's my reasoning on the payment plan. As far as the other question I get a lot is, you know, can I do this? Can I really do this? And I'm going to say, absolutely, positively, I don't know your situation, but I know you can do this. We've worked with such a wide spectrum of different type of people and personalities, different businesses, different levels of skill and talent. A year and a half ago, I couldn't do hardly anything on the computer. And now I've become a certified partner for one of the tools that we like to use. And I've learned all kinds of things. I firmly believe that if you want to learn something, you can learn it. I don't believe that there's any such thing as can't. That was ingrained in my being since I was a very little girl. And I actually believe that I won't, I don't wanna, I shouldn't, I don't feel like it, I don't want to devote the time, this isn't a priority. But there rarely is the I can't find a way to get this done. Now, it might be that I can't do it. I'm not ever going to be a basketball player, right? Number one, I'm 58 years old and I'm barely over 5'1½". So I'm never going to be an awesome basketball player, but I could hire a really good basketball player for me if that's a skill I need, right? So there's always a way to get what we want to get done, accomplished. Those are actually the 2 main hurdles. The other one is time, but we're going to teach you for free how to get 10 hours freed up from your schedule, no matter who you are and what you're doing, so that you've got the time that you could devote to putting this in practice and into your business. So I'm going to sign off. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the comments box. I will be glad to answer them. I appreciate you and thank you for listening to me. This is a project that is near and dear to my heart because I know what an impact it can have on your life. I know what it's done for me and so many other businesses. And I know that this is our world's best chance of making the world a better place. Because if we're taking care of our families and our friends and we're building businesses and services that serve other people in the world, that is making the world a better place. So have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon. Pajama Grandma out.